Athletes, you are now in the hands of the starter. Take him on!
So the women's race underway here in Vancouver, and away they go, running off the beach. And
that's a great start from Ashley Gentle there. So Ashley Gentle's in the red cap. Obviously not always known as the absolute best swimmer we've got in the field, but a beach start is something that will really suit Ashley because she's got such good foot speed. She's also from Australia. We know this is the sort of thing they do day in, day out with the beaches and the great oceans they've got to swim in there. So yeah, brilliant start from Ashley Gentle. That's the red cap, and the yellow cap just coming around her now. That is Jessica Learmonth.
so
Very different exit to the men. The men immediately were able to start running. The women have got to do some of those dolphin dives because it's just a completely different tide time that they're dealing with.
So, out of the water for lap 1 on this De Boer swim course. They will make their way up the Aussie exit through the crowds.
I was just going to say there, the first 3 seem to get out much quicker, much more smoothly than Holly Lawrence, Taylor Knibb and Taylor Spivey behind them. So there has been a little bit of a gap created just as they got out of the water, and you saw Taylor Knibb run around Holly Lawrence and try to sort of correct that, and she knows that now's the moment if she wants to get onto the back of these 3.
Yeah, the drone shot there really proving the point of just how big the gaps are so far in this race.
Blue cap is Julie Derron, the green cap is Paula Finlay, the red cap is Ashley Gentle, all swimming together, but that is going to be a big gap as they now come into the end of just the first kilometre.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, this is tough sand. This will be hugely tiring, I'm sure, because it's not a smooth surface. It's going to zap energy out of the athlete.
And it is those 6 athletes. So the 3 girls who are a little bit distant out of the Aussie exit have made it back on. That's Holly Lawrence in the white cap at the back, Taylor Knibb in the pink cap, Taylor Spivey just in front of her, and then our front 3, as they were, Lucy Charles-Barclay, Maya Kingma, our wild card on debut, and Jessica Learmonth. See there on the ticker that Alice Beto is now out the water. So she was the athlete just dangling off the back of this pack at the end of lap 1 and has been distanced by a further 40 seconds on lap 2, but is now totally alone in 7th place.
Jess Learmonth and Lucy Charles-Barclay, you can see it's a fantastic transition for Lucy Charles-Barclay and indeed for Jess Learmonth. They are able to get out nice and quickly.
Both the Taylors putting their socks on, I can see, so no one else really did that, and it's showing the difference it's made in their transition times.
Certainly has. Taylor's bike there just going in the slightly wrong direction, but she corrects it and she'll make her way out onto the bike course as quickly as she can. Fantastic support from our local fans here. So the inevitable happening in the women's race. Taylor Knibb going round the outside there of Jess Learmonth and taking the lead.
Oh, who's this? We've got Finlay. Is she in the penalty box or has she got a mechanical? It looks like she's taking a penalty.
Yeah. So penalty for Paula Finlay.
That's a really early doors penalty to get there in the race, and it's just not what you want to happen here. A drafting penalty she'll be serving there. So that's not the way that Paula will have wanted to start this course.
Certainly not. And being Canadian, racing at home, this will be bitterly disappointing for her, because she was saying ahead of the race how much being on the podium would mean to her. She's such a consistent performer across her whole career, but particularly in these sorts of distances, she really is a fantastically consistent performer. And you would have bet that she would be... That's just made it a bit harder for her now, isn't it? You would have bet she'd be in sort of 3rd, 4th, 5th, that sort of territory. It's going to make it a lot harder, as you say.
I don't know if I've ever heard of Paula having a drafting penalty before, so that's a pretty rare occurrence for her, but she'll have to use that as fuel. Jess Learmonth has taken to the front of the course, so we weren't sure whether we were going to see that or whether perhaps she was going to be happy to let Taylor Knibb do the majority of the work. And on the climb sectors, we've got our fastest, no surprise to probably anybody, is Taylor Knibb with 5:14. Second is Paula Finlay, no doubt, as she tries to make up some of that ground she lost with the penalty. And in 3rd place up the climb sector so far today is Jess Learmonth with 5:19.
This is Lucy Byram. She's made 8 places up to date from the swim, which is impressive by anyone's standards.
So here we are back again with Maya Kingma and Lucy Charles-Barclay, of course, holding currently in 3rd and 4th place, but they've lost, again, nearly 4 minutes at this point of the bike, 60 kilometres into the bike, and they're nearly 4 minutes down. And you can see, of course, Taylor Knibb's already got her socks on. We saw her take the time to put those on in T1. So she will have undoubtedly a faster T2, as I expect Jess to take the time to put those socks on now.
It's always remarkable when you see these athletes going into transition. They're trying to balance the bike. Is that something you practice as well, trying to direct your bike? And especially when you're tired, I imagine that's fatigue-inducing.
Yeah, we usually hold them by the saddle, and they're pretty good in a straight line, as we predicted there. Taylor Knibb going straight out first, and not too slow at all there from Jess Learmonth, going out just a few seconds behind.
42 seconds for Taylor Knibb. She did not hang around. Jess Learmonth, 47 seconds, 5 seconds slower than Taylor Knibb. And already that lead, 9 seconds in front for Taylor. So all eyes on the dismount. Lucy Charles-Barclay just her bike there and actually got overtaken into TT.
That's right. Lucy's never been an athlete to do what we call a flying mount, which is when you run and jump onto your bike at T1, or to do a flying dismount, which we saw Holly Lawrence do and overtake her there coming into T2. So it's not necessarily something that plays massively into racing in middle distance, but it did give Holly just a couple of seconds there ahead of Lucy.
Yeah, you never know, come the end of today, those seconds might prove very valuable. Lucy choosing to sit on the floor.
Yeah.
Most efficient way, she thinks, of getting those shoes on. And out she goes onto the run course. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this one is going to play out.
Now we're panning back here to see Maya Kingma just being overtaken by Holly Lawrence. Holly Lawrence, again, having a phenomenal day, just running herself up there into 4th place. And again, looking great. These girls are putting on a show. Julie Deron passing Maya Kingma, who is just about running again, but she had to stop there. And that is very early on the run to be having to start to walk.
Yeah, we were saying how impressive she was looking on the bike leg. She held her own superbly, but maybe the damage that has done, she's perhaps expended too much energy. Her muscles might just be cramping up. As we look at Meg McDonald,
who also looks to be struggling to go. So Julie Deron is about to make the pass on Holly Lawrence, and we spoke about how good and fluid and compact Holly has looked. But there we go, we've got Julie Deron blasting by her.
She's really round the outside, wasn't it?
Really
Incredible
was.
move.
Again, in miling, for those of you working miling, 5:38 for Julie Deron, 5:59s for Taylor Knibb. So very good running. And as we talk there, that is Julie Deron going past Lucy Charles-Barclay, so she's moved herself into a podium position.
Jessica Learmonth is just having a great run, and if she keeps her pace and the way that she's running right now, not a problem in the world. But as you said, anything can happen. Look at the way that she's getting it done. Look at the turnover. If you count those steps right now, the cadence has to be about 10 RPMs more on the side of Julie Deron rather than Jess Learmonth. Look, Jess Learmonth's a good runner, but Julie Deron and the lady in front of Jess, Daniela Kleiser, just so happen to be the 2 fastest runners in T100 right now. It used to be Ashley Gentle, but look at the way that these ladies have really worked on it. They've worked on their pacing, they've worked on their strides, and they've worked on putting all 3 sports together. Julie Deron now just about goes into 2nd.
So Julie Deron right on the back of Jess Learmonth. It looks like she might just catch her right before the end, but for the time being, our attention is going to focus on Taylor Knibb, who rounds the final few corners. The pass has happened, as Vicky just mentioned. Julie Deron into 2nd. Jess Learmonth will have to settle for 3rd place, but today in the women's race belongs to Taylor Knibb. She had to fight so hard on the bike with Jess Learmonth, but no one could catch her on the run. She's been in a class of her own. The city of Vancouver in the backdrop, a fitting backdrop for the class of Taylor Knibb. Back to winning ways on the T100 here in Vancouver. Taylor Knibb is our winner.
And that's a big smile there for Taylor Knibb. You can tell that she's pretty delighted to put herself back on the top set where she belongs.
I think Vicky, she just, there was a sigh of relief, and it's just like, I knew I was going to get the job done today, and I did it. I'm proud of myself. So well done, Taylor Knibb.
There we go, a lovely hug at the finish line as well. Oh, I'm so proud of you. There we go. What a lovely moment.
What an incredible day. What can be said about the Olympic silver medalist?
I mean, you just can't write her off. Even after a day where she perhaps wasn't quite on that top form on the swim or the bike, she still chomped away at that lead of every other athlete in front of her and came home with second place. I mean, she could have shut it down and settled for third. She didn't want to do that. That is the mark of a champion. As we said, she's an Olympic medalist for a reason. Julie Deron, second place here in Vancouver.
Started off as a gloomy day, but the heat haze and the sun now out on a hot finish by Julie Deron from Switzerland. Another second place. And I think, Vicky, that she's just so happy to get the job done. I think it was
Relief.
a tough day.
Yeah, you can see how hard she pushed there. And look at the smile on Jess Learmont's face. And I'm going to try and hold it together here because that is a fantastic result for Jess Learmont. She put it all together. She held it together on the run. She nearly held on for second place. But a podium result for Jess Learmont after that swim and bike. So well deserved.
And dare I say, too little, too late. So far, yet so far away.
I think she'll take the podium, I really do. Thank you, Matt. So here we go. We've got the standings after that race here in Vancouver. Taylor Knibb, of course, was our race winner there with a overall time of 3:30 and the fastest bike time, as you can see in purple. Julie Deron, fantastic finish there in second place. Fastest run of the day for her with a 1:03.24. And third place, first time on the T100 podium for Jessica Learmonth. Further down the field, of course, fourth, Lucy Charles-Barclay. Fifth, Ashley Gentle, who ran her way up quite a long way on that run. Holly Lawrence with another solid performance on return from maternity leave with sixth. Seventh place, Taylor Spivey. Eighth place, our home athlete, Paula Finlay. Ninth place for Lucy Byram. And 10th place with another blisteringly fast run, Danielle Kleiser. And let's have a look at what that does to our overall standings in the lead to our race to Qatar. Julie Deron maintains her lead with 73 points, but with that first place today, Taylor Knibb shoots herself up to second place with 64 points. Kate Woff not racing today, but maintains her third place with 61 points. And Jess Learmont rockets up the leaderboard too into fourth place with 50 points. Lucy Charles-Barclay in fifth, Ashley Gentle in sixth, Taylor Spivey in seventh, Holly Lawrence with another solid performance up to eighth, Paula Finlay in ninth, and Grace Tech rounding out the top 10.